Right, so here we are today. We are going to be repotting this BMW R1150GS Adventure seat. As you can see, it's getting old and scuffed and needs to be repotted. So I've got my gardening tools here, a pair of gloves, or not a pair, two odd gloves, but I like to wear them like that. I've got a staple gun, some wire cutters, a small screwdriver and some pliers, and then some routing compound. So hopefully we will be changing the saddle from this to this, hopefully with some of the creases missing. So first of all, I've got to remove the old saddle cover. So I've got to remove the staples using my gardening tools. Here we can see they're a little bit rusty. This is off a 2002 bike, and it has got a gel seat pad inside, which we'll see in a minute, and that was put in by the excellent Viking seats down in Sevenoaks, I suppose they are now, that way down there. Viking seats, brilliant. So I shall now remove the cover and see how we get on. So I'm just sticking in this flat screwdriver, the tiny one, and just pulling out the old staples. Now, someone on the eBay, on YouTube said buy stainless steel staples, which I haven't done, because the man who put this on didn't think that stainless steel ones were any good, and this has gone through about 5 winters and they are a little bit rusty, but they're not too bad. So I'm going to stick with what I've got. There we go. So here we are now, taking all the staples out. Just have to take off the old cover. There it is. That's the saddle. Now in here, I'm hoping there's a gel pad in there, and this has been added by the Viking seat man. I would like to, if I could, maybe take another little bit off the seat, but I don't want to disturb this. Now there are a few staples still on the other side, so that I need to remove from any damaging any unsuspecting customs officer as he runs his hand around my seat. We don't want to tear his latex gloves, so I'm going to remove those before I add the new ones. I just noticed there is a bit of a gap there, so I may, not promising anything. So now I've taken the top cover off, I've taken this foam, like slight foam cover off, and now I'm left here with this, the original seat here, and then this cutaway part and the gel pad. So I'm not too sure, I might see if I can take the gel pad out because it's coming away, cut it down maybe a little bit more and then put it back in, because I am a short arse and my bike is, I'm 60 now, just getting a little bit too big for me, but I plan to keep it for another year before I get rid of it. So yeah, let's see how we get on. So there's the gel pad, and I've just removed it. I don't think it was glued. The rest of this bit was held on with some sort of contact adhesive, but I think this is just because it is sticky, isn't it? You know, it's like that, it's kids' toys, it's very sticky. So I'm not going to glue that on, I'm just going to reseat that, but I am going to take out maybe a centimetre or half an inch, as we used to say in the old days. Looks a right abortion at the moment. So having watched the man at Viking Seats do this original work, I'm electing to use the big scalpel, i.e. a bread knife, or a carving knife. I'm still now, once you start you can't go back. Bit like life really. Right, see you on the other side. So I've just watched a very nice video from a very nice gentleman across the water in America, and he suggested that I do this and cut down. For him it was 1/2 inch, but for me obviously it's going to be 1 centimetre down into the foam all along the squares or rectangles, and then dig them all out individually, and then that way I shall have an even keel of a seat. Let's give that a go. Okay, we've tried the bread knife, we've tried the carving knife, we've tried the super duper Japanese samurai sword type carving knife, we've tried the craft knife and the scalpel, and now we have to resort to power tools. So I'm now going to use the trusty Kenwood carving knife as used by the man at Viking Seats. So let's see how that gets on. So we can see that that is so much more successful. I have to admit, when I took this out of the cupboard, it was surprised to see that there were no Christmas decorations around, because that's generally the only time it gets used. So I was a little bit confused when I took it out of the cupboard, but it's doing its job now. So there we are. It looks a bit of a mess, because it probably is. I think the only problem I'm going to have is this bit here. I'll try not to cut too much of that out so it sits on it nicely. And I'm just going to shave these edges a little bit, and then get this scoped back down again. I've already done half of it here, just going to scoop that back down, and then apparently it's a bit of a sander. Let's see how that goes. Right, so that's about finished now for me. I think I'm just going to glue these bits up under here and then shape them again, because the leading edge on this sits in too far and it'll be like a little lip. So I'm just going to put these in, shave them, glue them in, shave them down to the right thickness so that this lips straight onto there, so the leading edge doesn't have a bump on it, and then see how we get on with that. So that's the gel pad back in, all nice and glued down using the potting compost and the rooting powder. So there we are, it's looking quite good. So that's the cover back on, the original one that we saw, a little bit wrinkled. I'm not too displeased with it. I think it's going well. I mean, the workshops, the potting sheds, looking a little bit worse for wear. I might have to, once I've got it finished, is just put some slug pellets down tonight to stop any slugs eating the new seat cover. So here we are with part of it covered, a few little creases to pull out. There's a couple of little helpers, little gardeners, and there we're just putting a little bit of glue on there so that that stays as it comes up. It doesn't sort of do this business and stays down. Stay away from it, girls, you're not old enough to sniff glue yet. There we are. So, why is it out of focus? So there we are, repotted. That's just a bit hanging off, that's going to be cut, so that's it. There's a few little wrinkles, but if I got it done at Viking Seats, I probably would have been a bit upset if it had a few wrinkles on it, but it seems to be just along the back here, and I'm hoping that once it's heated up and my backside's been sitting on it a little while, it'll be good. One on the other side's slightly worse, and I might try and pull that out later, but I'm pretty pleased with that. And I got that off of eBay, that seat cover, that was 52 quid off of eBay. Here's the old one, so we can see. It's what we in the medical profession call shite. There we go. So there we are, nice black one, red bits. So there we are, there's the finished article on the bike, ready for Sweden next year. Whee! Just going to try it out, see what it looks like. Oh, looks like? I know what it looks like. See what it feels like. Yeah, don't really notice that extra centimetre off, I suppose. Maybe later when I've got the boots on. But there we are. Here's me in silhouette, done. £52 from eBay, and a few staples that I already had, and a staple gun. It's a bit of an industrial staple gun, not your sort of Aldi's or Wilko's staple gun. It's a bit more industrious than that Stanley one, but it worked perfectly, and I'm really pleased with it for now. Hopefully with the heat on it, those creases will come out. Just have to see. If not, I'll just unseat it and then re-staple it later on. Brilliant. Thanks for watching.